Question 1. What is the Magna Carta and why is it significant in British history? A. A medieval treaty for land distribution. B. A royal decree on military strategy. C. A charter signed in 1215 limiting the king's power and establishing fundamental rights. D. A law passed to modernize the agricultural sector. Answer. C. A charter signed in 1215 limiting the king's power and establishing fundamental rights. The Magna Carta is significant because it laid the foundations for future legal principles, including the rule of law and the rights of individuals. Question 2. Who was the first female Prime Minister of the UK? A. Elizabeth II. B. Angela Merkel. C. Margaret Thatcher. D. Theresa May. Answer. C. Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher was the first female Prime Minister of the UK, serving from 1979 to 1990, and was known for her strong conservative policies. Question 3. What year did the United Kingdom join the European Economic Community, EC? A. 1952. B. 1973. C. 1986. D. 1992. Answer. B. 1973. The United Kingdom joined the European Economic Community, now the European Union, in 1973, marking a significant step in its economic integration with continental Europe. Question 4. What was the purpose of the Human Rights Act 1998? A. To codify criminal law. B. To incorporate the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law. C. To establish the minimum wage. D. To regulate the financial sector. Answer. B. To incorporate the European Convention on Human Rights into UK law. The Human Rights Act 1998 made it possible for UK citizens to defend their rights in UK courts based on the European Convention on Human Rights. Question 5. Who are the members of the British Parliament's two houses? A. The House of Commons and the House of Lords. B. The Senate and the House of Representatives. C. The Legislative Assembly and the National Council. D. The Parliament and the High Council. Answer. A. The House of Commons and the House of Lords. The UK Parliament is bicameral, consisting of the House of Commons, which is elected, and the House of Lords, which includes appointed and hereditary members. Question 6. What event is commemorated by Guy Fawkes Night? A. The end of the English Civil War. B. The signing of the Magna Carta. C. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605. D. The Battle of Britain. Answer. C. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605. Guy Fawkes Night, also known as Bonfire Night, commemorates the failed attempt by Guy Fawkes and other conspirators to blow up the Houses of Parliament in 1605. Question 7. Which treaty led to the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland? A. The Treaty of Paris. B. The Acts of Union 1800. C. The Anglo-Irish Treaty. D. The Edinburgh Agreement. Answer. B. The Acts of Union 1800. The Acts of Union 1800 united the kingdoms of Great Britain and Ireland into a single state, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, which later became the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Question 8. What are the main responsibilities of the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care? A. Managing national defence. B. Overseeing economic policies. C. Leading the health and social care departments. D. Regulating the education system. Answer. C. Leading the health and social care departments. The Secretary of State for Health and Social Care is responsible for overseeing the National Health Service, NHS, and social care matters in the UK. Question 9. Who was the ruling monarch during the defeat of the Spanish Armada? A. Henry VIII. B. Elizabeth I. C. James I. D. Victoria. Answer. B. Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I was the monarch during the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, a pivotal event in English history which secured England's naval dominance. Question 10. What was the primary goal of the Chartist movement in the 19th century? A. To restore the monarchy. B. To promote agricultural reforms. C. To secure voting rights for all men. D. To abolish the parliamentary system. Answer. C. To secure voting rights for all men. The Chartist movement was a working-class movement in the 19th century that sought political reforms, including a universal male suffrage. Question 11. What historical document limits the powers of the Crown and establishes the rights of Parliament? A. The Petition of Right. B. The Bill of Rights 1689. C. The Royal Charter. D. The Statute of Westminster. Answer. B. The Bill of Rights 1689. The Bill of Rights 1689 is a landmark act in UK constitutional law that limits the powers of the Crown and sets out the rights of Parliament. Question 12. What is the significance of the Battle of Britain during World War II? A. It marked the end of World War II. B. It was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. C. It led to the invasion of Britain. D. It resulted in the Treaty of Versailles. Answer. B. It was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. The Battle of Britain in 1940 was crucial in preventing a Nazi invasion and demonstrated the importance of air power in modern warfare. Question 13. Which British scientist discovered penicillin, and what is its significance? A. Isaac Newton. B. Charles Darwin. C. Alexander Fleming. D. Stephen Hawking. Answer. C. Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin in 1928, which marked the beginning of modern antibiotics and has saved countless lives from bacterial infections. Question 14. What is the Commonwealth and what purpose does it serve? A. A political alliance for economic benefits. B. A cultural organization promoting arts in former colonies. C. An organization that supports the mutual interests of former British colonies and territories. D. A military alliance among European nations. Answer. C. An organization that supports the mutual interests of former British colonies and territories. The Commonwealth promotes political, economic, and social cooperation among its member states. Question 15. When did women in the UK gain the right to vote on the same terms as men? A. 1918. B. 1928. C. 1945. D. 1969. Answer. B. 1928. In 1928, women in the UK gained the right to vote on the same terms as men through the representation of the people. Equal franchise. Act 1928. Question 16. What is the principle of devolution in the context of UK governance? A. The distribution of powers from the central government to local city councils. B. The delegation of powers from the central government to regional parliaments in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. C. The transfer of administrative duties from Parliament to the European Union. D. The centralisation of judicial powers from local courts to the Supreme Court. Answer. B. The delegation of powers from the central government to regional parliaments in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Evolution in the UK allows these regions to have their own parliaments or assemblies with varying degrees of legislative authority. Question 17. What are the Crown dependencies and what is their relationship with the UK? A. Colonies of the British Empire. B. Independent countries that share a monarch with the UK. C. Territories that are constitutionally bound to the UK but are not part of it. D. Members of the Commonwealth that receive special economic benefits. Answer. C. Territories that are constitutionally bound to the UK but are not part of it. The Crown dependencies, which include the Isle of Man and the Channel Islands, are not part of the United Kingdom, but rely on it for defence and international representation. Question 18. What event led to the annual celebration of Bonfire Night on November 5th? A. The Battle of Agincourt. B. The signing of the Treaty of Paris. C. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605. D. The coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Answer. C. The Gunpowder Plot of 1605. Bonfire Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Night, commemorates the failure of the Gunpowder Plot, in which Guy Fawkes attempted to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Question 19. Who was Queen Elizabeth I, and what was her impact on British history? A. A monarch known for her role in the English Reformation. B. The Queen who established the British Empire. C. The ruler during the Elizabethan era, known for her patronage of the arts and victory over the Spanish Armada. D. The first queen to rule England without a consort. Answer. C. The ruler during the Elizabethan era, known for her patronage of the arts and victory over the Spanish Armada. Queen Elizabeth I's reign is celebrated for the flourishing of English drama, led by playwrights such as Shakespeare, and the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Question 20. What are the key functions of the Prime Minister in the UK? A. Serving as the head of state and the chief lawmaker. B. Leading the national government and overseeing the civil service. C. Directing the judiciary and law enforcement agencies. D. Managing the UK's foreign diplomatic missions. Answer. B. Leading the national government and overseeing the civil service. The Prime Minister is the head of the UK government, responsible for overseeing the operation of the government and the execution of public policy, along with directing the work of the civil service. Question 21. What significant law was passed in response to the Industrial Revolution to regulate child labour? A. The Factory Act of 1833. B. The Poor Law Amendment Act. C. The Mines Act of 1842. D. The Workhouse Reform Act. Answer. A. The Factory Act of 1833. The Factory Act of 1833 was a significant law passed in response to the Industrial Revolution in Britain, aiming to improve conditions for children working in factories by limiting their working hours. Question 22. Name the landmark legal act that began the decriminalisation of homosexuality in the UK. A. The Civil Partnership Act 2004. B. The Sexual Offences Act 1967. C. The Equality Act 2010. D. The Human Rights Act 1998. Answer. B. The Sexual Offences Act 1967. This act began the process of decriminalising homosexual acts in private between two men over the age of 21, marking a significant change in the legal treatment of homosexual individuals in the UK. Question 23. What is the Union Jack and what does it symbolise? A. The flag of the ruling monarch. B. The national flag of the United Kingdom. C. A decorative banner used during royal ceremonies. D. The flag representing the UK's overseas territories. Answer B. The national flag of the United Kingdom, the Union Jack or Union flag, is the national flag of the UK and symbolises the administrative union of the countries of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Question 24. How did the Acts of Union 1707 affect the political landscape of Britain? A. They dissolved the Scottish Parliament. B. They united England and Scotland under the name of Great Britain. C. They created a new constitution for Ireland. D. They separated the crowns of England and Scotland. Answer B. They united England and Scotland under the name of Great Britain. The Acts of Union 1707 merged the English and Scottish parliaments, creating a single kingdom of Great Britain and significantly affecting the political structure of both countries. Question 25. Who were the suffragettes and what did they achieve? A. A political party that advocated for women's education. B. A movement that fought for women's voting rights in the early 20th century. C. Social reformers who focused on improving working conditions. D. A group advocating for the abolition of the monarchy. Answer B. A movement that fought for women's voting rights in the early 20th century. The suffragettes were members of women's organizations in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which advocated for the extension of the voting rights to women. Question 26. What was the role of Winston Churchill in World War II? A. He served as the King of England. B. He was a general in the British Army. C. He was the Prime Minister of the UK and a key leader. D. He was a pacifist and campaigned against the war. Answer C. He was the Prime Minister of the UK and a key leader. Winston Churchill is famed for his leadership during World War II, serving as the British Prime Minister and playing a crucial role in the Allied victory. Question 27. What are the legal systems in the United Kingdom and how do they differ? A. Only English law applied uniformly across the UK. B. English law, Scots law, and Northern Irish law. C. Common law and civil law divided by regions. D. Parliamentary law and constitutional law applied selectively. Answer B. English law, Scots law, and Northern Irish law. The UK has three distinct legal systems for England and Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, each with its own laws and judicial systems. Question 28. What was the Beveridge Report, and how did it influence the welfare state? A. A financial review in 1942 that led to budget cuts. B. A proposal in 1942 outlining the creation of the welfare state. C. A 1950 report advocating for the end of public health care. D. A wartime strategy document from 1944. Answer B. A proposal in 1942 outlining the creation of the welfare state. The Beveridge Report proposed widespread reforms to tackle social ills and laid the foundation for the post-war welfare state in Britain, including the creation of the National Health Service. Question 29. What is the rule of law, and why is it important in the UK? A. It dictates that law comes directly from the monarchy. B. It ensures that all citizens are treated equally under the law. C. It is a principle that laws are passed by a simple majority. D. It governs international law and treaties. Answer B. It ensures that all citizens are treated equally under the law. The rule of law is a fundamental principle in the UK, ensuring that no one, including those in power, is above the law, and that laws are applied equally and fairly. Question 30. Who is known as the father of the English Navy? A. Sir Francis Drake. B. Henry VIII. C. Lord Nelson. D. Sir Walter Raleigh. Answer: B. Henry VIII. King Henry VIII is often called the father of the English Navy due to his significant investments in expanding and improving the Navy, establishing England as a formidable naval power. Question 31. Describe the significance of the Battle of Hastings. A. It was the first battle fought on English soil. B. It led to Norman control of England in 1066. C. It resulted in English independence from France. D. It marked the beginning of the Plantagenet dynasty. Answer: B. It led to Norman control of England in 1066. The Battle of Hastings in 1066, where William the Conqueror defeated King Harold Ege, was significant for establishing Norman control over England, profoundly influencing the language, culture, and governance of the country. Question 32. What major constitutional change took place in the UK in 1999? A. The creation of the Supreme Court. B. The devolution of powers to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. C. The introduction of the euro as currency. D. The signing of the Lisbon Treaty. Answer: B. The devolution of powers to Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. In 1999, significant constitutional changes occurred with the devolution of powers, leading to the establishment of the Scottish Parliament and the Welsh and Northern Ireland Assemblies. Question 33. What historical figure is known as the Iron Lady? A. Queen Victoria. B. Margaret Thatcher. C. Indira Gandhi. D. Elizabeth I. Answer: B. Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of the UK, was nicknamed the Iron Lady for her strong and uncompromising political will. Question 34. What major global event did the UK host in 2012? A. The signing of the Kyoto Protocol. B. The G20 Summit. C. The Olympic Games. D. The World Economic Forum. Answer: C. The Olympic Games. The UK hosted the 2012 Summer Olympic Games in London, marking the third time the city had hosted the Olympics, the first being in 1908 and the second in 1948. Question 35. What role does the monarch play in the UK government today? A. Active leadership in government policies. B. Ceremonial duties without governing responsibilities. C. Direct control over the military. D. Leading the judicial system. Answer: B. Ceremonial duties without governing responsibilities. The British monarch today has a largely ceremonial role, including the opening of Parliament and other state duties, without direct involvement in daily government operations. Question 36. How does the UK's electoral system work? A. Proportional representation. B. First past the post. C. Single transferable vote. D. Mixed member proportional. Answer: B. First past the post. The UK mainly uses the first past the post voting system for general elections, where the candidate with the most votes in each constituency wins a seat in the House of Commons. Question 37. What landmark act introduced environmental controls in the UK? A. The Clean Air Act 1956. B. The Environmental Protection Act 1990. C. The Climate Change Act 2008. D. The Green Belt Act 1947. Answer: A. The Clean Air Act 1956. The Clean Air Act of 1956 was a response to the Great Smog of London and was a landmark piece of legislation in the UK that aimed to reduce air pollution. Question 38. Who discovered the structure of DNA and what is its impact? A. Charles Darwin. B. Alexander Fleming. C. Watson and Crick. D. Stephen Hawking. Answer: C. Watson and Crick. James Watson and Francis Crick, along with contributions from Rosalind Franklin, are credited with discovering the double helix structure of DNA in 1953, a pivotal moment in the field of genetics. Question 39. What is the significance of the Good Friday Agreement? A. It established the European Union. B. It marked the end of the Cold War. C. It was a major peace accord that ended the conflict in Northern Ireland. D. It initiated economic sanctions against rogue states. Answer: C. It was a major peace accord that ended the conflict in Northern Ireland. The Good Friday Agreement, signed in 1998, was crucial in ending the decades-long sectarian conflict known as the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Question 40. What was the main cause of the English Civil War in the 17th century? A. Religious disputes between Catholics and Protestants. B. Economic recession and unemployment. C. Disagreements over the powers of the monarchy and the rights of Parliament. D. Territorial disputes with Scotland and Wales. Answer: C. Disagreements over the powers of the monarchy and the rights of Parliament. The English Civil War was primarily caused by conflicts between the monarchy, which sought to exert absolute power, and Parliament, which sought to limit the king's authority and expand its own. Question 41. What is the UK's stance on the death penalty as of today? A. It is still used for severe crimes. B. It has been completely abolished. C. It is only used in military law. D. It is under a moratorium. Answer: B. It has been completely abolished. The UK abolished the death penalty for all crimes in 1998, and it is no longer used under any circumstances. Question 42. Who was the longest reigning monarch before Queen Elizabeth II? A. Queen Victoria. B. King George III. C. Queen Mary II. D. King Henry VIII. Answer: A. Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria was the longest reigning monarch before Queen Elizabeth II, ruling for over 63 years. Question 43. What is the significance of the Home Rule debates in Irish history? A. They addressed women's voting rights. B. They concerned the division of Ireland into separate states. C. They involved the establishment of an independent parliament for Ireland. D. They debated joining the European Union. Answer: C. They involved the establishment of an independent parliament for Ireland. The Home Rule debates focused on the question of self-government for Ireland and were central to Irish politics in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Question 44. Who was responsible for the establishment of the Church of England? A. King Henry VIII. B. Queen Elizabeth I. C. King James I. D. King Edward VI. Answer: A. King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII established the Church of England in 1534 after breaking away from the Roman Catholic Church. Question 45. What is the function of the House of Lords? A. To review and propose new legislation. B. To elect the Prime Minister. C. To manage the UK's foreign affairs. D. To serve as the lower chamber of Parliament. Answer: A. To review and propose new legislation. The House of Lords acts as a revising chamber for legislation, scrutinising and amending bills that have been passed by the House of Commons. Question 46. Describe the impact of the Great Reform Act of 1832. A. It abolished the monarchy. B. It expanded the electorate, allowing more men to vote. C. It established the welfare state. D. It separated church and state. Answer B. It expanded the electorate, allowing more men to vote. The Great Reform Act of 1832 reformed the electoral system by increasing the number of individuals eligible to vote, addressing many parliamentary constituencies' inequalities. Question 47. What historical document asserted the right of habeas corpus? A. The Magna Carta. B. The Habeas Corpus Act 1679. C. The Bill of Rights 1689. D. The Petition of Right. Answer B. The Habeas Corpus Act 1679. This act is a significant legal statute that strengthened the right to a fair trial and protection against unlawful detention. Question 48. What major political change did the Act of Settlement 1701 bring about? A. It required the monarch to be Protestant. B. It established the Commonwealth of Nations. C. It allowed women to inherit the throne. D. It merged England and Scotland. Answer A. It required the monarch to be Protestant. The Act of Settlement 1701 was designed to secure the Protestant succession to the throne and strengthen the rights of the English Parliament. Question 49. Who was responsible for signing the Balfour Declaration, and what did it entail? A. Winston Churchill, promising military aid to Europe. B. Arthur Balfour, supporting the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. C. Neville Chamberlain, advocating for peace with Germany. D. Margaret Thatcher, establishing economic ties with the Middle East. Answer B. Arthur Balfour, supporting the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. The Balfour Declaration, issued in 1917, was a public statement from the British government supporting the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Question 50. What are the main political parties in the UK? A. The Conservative Party, the Liberal Party, and the Green Party. B. The Conservative Party, the Labour Party, and the Liberal Democrats. C. The Labour Party, the Green Party, and the National Party. D. The Conservative Party, the Union Party, and the Independence Party. Answer B. The Conservative Party, the Labour Party, and the Liberal Democrats. These are three of the major political parties in the UK, each with significant representation in the UK Parliament. Question 51. How did the Welfare Reform Act impact social security? A. It reduced pensions across the board. B. It increased support for the unemployed. C. It consolidated several benefits into a single payment system. D. It eliminated child support. Answer C. It consolidated several benefits into a single payment system. The Welfare Reform Act introduced measures like universal credit, which consolidated various benefits into one streamlined payment system to simplify and reform the welfare system. Question 52. What is the purpose of the state opening of Parliament? A. To celebrate the monarch's birthday. B. To officially start the parliamentary session. C. To elect the Speaker of the House. D. To sign new legislation into law. Answer B. To officially start the parliamentary session. The state opening of Parliament is a ceremonial event that marks the commencement of a session of Parliament and includes the Queen's speech outlining the government's agenda. Question 53. Who was Robert Walpole, and why is he significant? A. The first de facto Prime Minister of the UK. B. A military general during the Napoleonic Wars. C. The inventor of the steam engine. D. The founder of modern democratic elections. Answer A. The first de facto Prime Minister of the UK. Robert Walpole is considered the first de facto prime minister due to his role as the head of the government in the early 18th century, effectively shaping the position into what it is today. Question 54. What key event triggered the UK's vote on Brexit in 2016? A. Economic recession in Europe. B. Increasing immigration concerns. C. A referendum on EU membership. D. A change in leadership in the Conservative Party. Answer C. A referendum on EU membership. The UK held a referendum in 2016 to decide whether to remain in or leave the European Union, leading to the decision to leave, known as Brexit. Question 55. Describe the UK's contribution to the discovery of the electron. A. Joseph John Thomson's experiments identified the electron in 1897. B. Isaac Newton theorized about particles like electrons. C. Stephen Hawking discovered the electron during his study of black holes. D. Charles Darwin proposed the theory during his evolutionary studies. Answer A. Joseph John Thomson's experiments identified the electron in 1897. J. Thomson, a British physicist, was the first to discover the electron, a fundamental component of atoms, contributing significantly to atomic physics. Question 56. What is the significance of the Glorious Revolution of 1688? A. It marked the beginning of the British Empire. B. It resulted in the establishment of parliamentary supremacy over the monarchy. C. It was a major defeat in British military history. D. It initiated the Industrial Revolution. Answer B. It resulted in the establishment of parliamentary supremacy over the monarchy. The Glorious Revolution led to the ousting of James II and the accession of William III and Mary II to the throne, which established the dominance of Parliament over the monarchy. Question 57. Who was the British monarch during the Union of the Crowns? A. Elizabeth I. B. James I. C. Charles I. D. Henry VII. Answer B. James I. James I, who was already James VI of Scotland, became James I of England in 1603, marking the union of the crowns under a single monarch. Question 58. What was the impact of the Railways Act on the UK's industrial growth? A. It decreased industrial production due to high costs. B. It had little to no impact on industrial growth. C. It significantly boosted industrial growth by improving transportation. D. It led to the decline of the British railway system. Answer C. It significantly boosted industrial growth by improving transportation. The Railways Act facilitated the expansion of the railway network, which was crucial for the rapid industrial growth during the 19th century by enabling faster movement of goods and people. Question 59. What is the primary function of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom? A. To advise the Queen on legal matters. B. To serve as the final court of appeal in the UK. C. To oversee parliamentary elections. D. To draft legislation. Answer B. To serve as the final court of appeal in the UK. The Supreme Court is the highest judicial body in the country, serving as the final court of appeal for civil and criminal cases from England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Question 60. Describe the contribution of British forces in the Normandy landings during World War II. A. They provided logistical support only. B. They led the naval assault but did not engage in ground combat. C. They were primarily involved in aerial bombings. D. They played a crucial role in both naval and ground operations. Answer D. They played a crucial role in both naval and ground operations. British forces were integral to the success of the Normandy landings on D-Day, June 6, 1944, participating heavily in both naval and ground operations alongside Allied forces. Question 61. What is the UK's National Health Service, NHS, and when was it established? A. A private healthcare provider established in 1948. B. A government agency for health and safety established in 1951. C. A public healthcare system established in 1948. D. A non-profit organisation supporting hospitals established in 1950. Answer C. A public healthcare system established in 1948. The NHS was established to provide healthcare services funded by taxation, free at the point of use for all UK residents. Question 62. What are the implications of the Scotland Act 1998? A. It separated Scotland from the UK. B. It granted fiscal autonomy to Scotland. C. It established the Scottish Parliament with devolved powers. D. It recognised Scottish independence. Answer. C. It established the Scottish Parliament with devolved powers. The Scotland Act 1998 was a major piece of legislation that provided Scotland with its own Parliament and significant legislative authority separate from the UK Parliament. Question 63. How did the Reform Acts alter the British electoral system? A. They introduced electronic voting. B. They extended voting rights to all citizens, including women. C. They broadened the franchise and reformed the electoral districts. D. They abolished the electoral system. Answer. C. They broadened the franchise and reformed the electoral districts. The series of Reform Acts progressively extended the right to vote and reformed the way electoral districts were organised, making the electoral system more representative. Question 64. What is the significance of the UK's Protection from Harassment Act 1997? A. It decriminalised certain types of speech. B. It provided for the establishment of safe zones in cities. C. It introduced measures against stalking and harassment. D. It regulated the use of personal data. Answer. C. It introduced measures against stalking and harassment. The Protection from Harassment Act 1997 was significant for providing a legal framework to protect individuals from harassment and stalking, both in person and online. Question 65. What role does the British monarch play during a general election? A. The monarch personally counts the votes. B. The monarch has the power to dismiss the government based on election results. C. The monarch remains politically neutral and does not interfere in the election process. D. The monarch campaigns for candidates. Answer. C. The monarch remains politically neutral and does not interfere in the election process. The British monarch is expected to remain above politics and does not participate in the electoral process. Question 66. Who was Thomas Becket, and why is he a figure of historical significance? A. A medieval king known for his harsh rule. B. A Chancellor of England and later Archbishop of Canterbury, murdered in 1170. C. A general in the English Civil War. D. An advisor to Queen Elizabeth I. Answer. B. A Chancellor of England and later Archbishop of Canterbury, murdered in 1170. Thomas Becket is historically significant due to his conflicts with King Henry II over the rights of the Church and his subsequent martyrdom, which made him a saint in the eyes of the Catholic Church. Question 67. Describe the origins and impact of the English Bill of Rights. A. Originated in the 16th century, limiting the power of monarchy. B. Established in it laid the foundation for a constitutional monarchy. C. created during the Victorian era to address labour rights. D. Drafted in the early 20th century to bolster women's rights. Answer B. Established in 1689, it laid the foundation for a constitutional monarchy. The English Bill of Rights significantly impacted British political culture by limiting the powers of the monarch and outlining the rights of Parliament, shaping the system of government as a constitutional monarchy. Question 68. What was the purpose of the Elizabethan Poor Law? A. To provide health care to the elderly. B. To address unemployment through job creation programs. C. To organize the care and support of the poor. D. To implement educational reforms for impoverished children. Answer C. To organize the care and support of the poor. The Elizabethan Poor Law of 1601 established a system for supporting the poor, which involved local taxation to fund relief efforts, setting a precedent for later social welfare policies. Question 69. How is the UK represented in international organisations? A. By the Prime Minister alone. B. Through its diplomatic missions, led by ambassadors. C. By appointed representatives in each organisation. D. The monarch personally represents the UK. Answer B. Through its diplomatic missions, led by ambassadors. The UK is represented in international organisations by diplomats and appointed representatives who manage foreign relations and uphold the UK's interests abroad. Question 70. Who was the first Briton in space? A. Tim Peake. B. Helen Sharman. C. Michael Foale. D. Richard Branson. Answer B. Helen Sharman. Helen Sharman was the first Briton in space, participating in a mission to the Mir space station in 1991 as part of a cooperative project between the UK and the Soviet Union. Question 71. What significant role did Britain play in ending the transatlantic slave trade? A. It was the last country to abolish it. B. It led the enforcement of abolition with its naval power. C. It initiated the trade. D. It provided financial support to slave traders. Answer B. It led the enforcement of abolition with its naval power. Britain played a crucial role in ending the transatlantic slave trade, particularly after passing the Slave Trade Act in 1807, using its naval strength to enforce the ban on slave trading. Question 72. How does the UK Parliament function after devolution? A. It transferred all powers to regional governments. B. It retains powers over foreign affairs, defence and fiscal policy. C. It dissolved and passed all authority to the EU. D. It functions purely as a ceremonial body. Answer B. It retains powers over foreign affairs, defence and fiscal policy. After devolution, the UK Parliament retains significant powers, known as reserved matters, including foreign affairs, defence and economic policy, while devolving others to regional parliaments and assemblies. Question 73. What are the primary components of the British judicial system? A. The Supreme Court, the High Courts and Magistrates' Courts. B. The Parliament, the Supreme Court and the regional courts. C. The House of Lords, the Sheriff Court and the Crown Court. D. The Prime Minister, the Attorney General and the Chief Justice. Answer A. The Supreme Court, the High Courts and Magistrates' Courts. The UK's judicial system is structured with the Supreme Court at its apex, followed by High Courts that handle serious civil and criminal cases, and Magistrates' Courts that deal with minor offences and preliminary hearings. Question 74. What was the outcome of the Treaty of Union 1707? A. It confirmed the independence of Scotland. B. It unified England and Scotland to form Great Britain. C. It created the European Union. D. It led to the separation of Ireland from the UK. Answer: B. It unified England and Scotland to form Great Britain. The Treaty of Union 1707 was a pivotal agreement that unified the parliaments and crowns of England and Scotland, forming the Kingdom of Great Britain. Question 75. Who were key figures in the British Enlightenment, and what were their contributions? A. Isaac Newton and William Wilberforce, contributions to science and social reform. B. Charles Darwin and James Watt, evolution and steam engine inventions. C. John Locke and David Hume, developments in philosophy and human understanding. D. Henry VIII and Elizabeth I, contributions to religion and the arts. Answer: C. John Locke and David Hume, developments in philosophy and human understanding. Figures like John Locke and David Hume were central to the British Enlightenment, contributing significantly to theories of governance, economics, and human nature. Question 76. What was the purpose of the Corn Laws, and when were they repealed? A. To regulate the import and export of grain, repealed in 1846. B. To control the prices of essential goods, repealed in 1865. C. To enforce agricultural standards, repealed in 1820. D. To establish trade barriers, repealed in 1900. Answer: A. To regulate the import and export of grain, repealed in 1846. The Corn Laws were introduced to impose tariffs and restrictions on imported grain to protect domestic producers, but they were repealed in 1846 amid growing calls for free trade and after causing widespread food shortages and protests. Question 77. Who led Britain into the 6 Days' War? A. Harold Wilson. B. Edward Heath. C. Anthony Eden. D. Harold Macmillan. Answer: A. Harold Wilson. Harold Wilson was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during the time of the 6 Days' War, which took place in June 1967. Although Britain was not directly involved in the conflict, Wilson's government played a diplomatic role in the international response to the war. Question 78. What landmark decision did the UK make about its defence strategy in the post-Cold War era? A. To reduce its nuclear arsenal. B. To increase spending on cyber defence. C. To maintain a nuclear deterrent. D. To disband the armed forces. Answer: C. To maintain a nuclear deterrent. Post-Cold War, the UK decided to maintain its nuclear deterrent as a cornerstone of its national defence strategy, continuing to operate a fleet of nuclear-armed submarines. Question 79. What are the legal and cultural implications of the UK's Data Protection Act? A. It restricts freedom of speech. B. It enhances consumer protections and privacy standards. C. It limits public access to the Internet. D. It censors artistic expression. Answer: B. It enhances consumer protections and privacy standards. The UK's Data Protection Act was enacted to give individuals more control over their personal data, setting strict rules on data handling and boosting privacy and consumer rights. Question 80. How has the UK's relationship with the Commonwealth evolved since the 20th century? A. The UK has severed all formal ties with the Commonwealth. B. The UK has increased its financial contributions significantly. C. The UK remains a key member, but with a focus on mutual cooperation rather than governance. D. The UK has taken a leadership role in demanding policy changes within member states. Answer: C. The UK remains a key member, but with a focus on mutual cooperation rather than governance. Since the 20th century, The UK's role in the Commonwealth has evolved from a post-imperial overseer to one of equal partnership and mutual cooperation among independent nations. Question 81. What major environmental policy has the UK adopted to combat climate change? A. The Green New Deal. B. The Climate Change Act of 2008. C. The Paris Agreement Withdrawal Act. D. The Clean Air Act of 1956 revisited. Answer. B. The Climate Change Act of 2008. The Climate Change Act of 2008 was a pioneering piece of legislation in the UK, setting legally binding targets for the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions by certain deadlines to combat climate change. Question 82. Describe the significance of the Battle of Waterloo for British history. A. It marked the beginning of the British Empire. B. It ended Napoleon's rule and marked a turning point in European politics. C. It resulted in significant territorial losses for Britain. D. It started the Industrial Revolution. Answer. B. It ended Napoleon's rule and marked a turning point in European politics. The Battle of Waterloo in 1815 was significant for British history, as it marked the defeat of Napoleon Bonaparte, ending his rule and the Napoleonic Wars, which reshaped the map and future of Europe. Question 83. Who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize in the UK, and for what was she recognised? A. Rosalind Franklin for chemistry. B. Dorothy Hodgkin for chemistry in 1964. C. Marie Curie for physics. D. Ada Lovelace for mathematics. Answer. B. Dorothy Hodgkin for chemistry in 1964. Dorothy Hodgkin was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for her work on important biochemical substances using X-ray crystallography, notably confirming the structure of penicillin and vitamin B12. Question 84. What role does the Prime Minister play in the appointment of cabinet members? A. The Prime Minister has no role. They are appointed by the monarch. B. The Prime Minister recommends appointments, which are then confirmed by Parliament. C. The Prime Minister solely decides and appoints cabinet members. D. The Prime Minister consults with opposition leaders to choose cabinet members. Answer. C. The Prime Minister solely decides and appoints cabinet members. In the UK, the Prime Minister has the authority to appoint cabinet members, selecting ministers who will head various government departments. Question 85. What historical event led to the formation of the United Kingdom's public broadcasting service, the BBC? A. The Broadcasting Act of 1990. B. The need for unbiased news during World War I. C. The Royal Decree in the early 20th century. D. The Cultural Revolution of the 1960s. Answer. B. The need for unbiased news during World War I. The BBC was established in 1922, following the need for a reliable and unbiased news source during World War I, growing to become a major public service broadcaster funded by the public license fee.